And we are back for this is match 2.
Yes.
Ooh, counting is hard.
Well,
Wow.
we did play a bunch of extra games
Yeah.
because I just wanted to see things about my deck. Here we are taking a fairly relaxed approach to the best of 3 structure, and instead just playing as many games as I want to play with my deck. So, I mean, you don't get to see it, but before every video, I force Ross to play like 2 or 3 games with me, and especially in matchups I think are good for me. Well, look, you are a classic curmudgeon, as far as I recall. Maybe that has changed in recent memory, but
no, that hasn't changed at all.
You just dress
correct.
fancier.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we are going to be playing our second match today with my Temur Reclamation deck. This is something of my own design. We are attempting to break the card Wilderness Reclamation in a Temur shell alongside the likes of Expansion Explosion and Primal Amulet. Primal Amulet is a card that a lot of people kind of laugh at, but the ability to transform it easily has given me hope that it's actually just an engine that needs to be explored further. I messed around with it a bit in the previous standard season in Jeskai shells featuring ways to untap it like Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, alongside a bunch of sweepers like Cleansing Nova and Deafening Clarion. And those decks felt really strong, especially against the mid-range strategies, because I had this really huge, powerful engine with the Transform Primal Amulet. Now, with Wilderness Reclamation, I think untapping it is just easier than ever, and it's disgusting.
Yes, it is very powerful once it gets going, but in this second matchup, you might have a little bit of time setting everything up. Not because I have a lot of disruption, but because I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah, there's been quite a few good red cards previewed from Ravnica Allegiance, and I assume you're making good use of both Light Up the Stage and Skewer the Critics?
Yes, both appear in this deck list, and I think Light Up the Stage has been a very impressive card and is going to see a lot of play. I was initially really skeptical of it just because there's a lot of weird timing restrictions on it. Wasn't sure how it was going to play out. Turns out those restrictions aren't a big deal. The card plays out pretty close to Thoughtcast for aggressive red decks.
Yeah, and when your deck is basically 20 cards to do one thing, 20 cards to do another thing, and 20 lands, or somewhere around there,
yeah.
Skewer the Critics becomes just like, 1/3 of the time it's one of each of those cards or whatever. I don't know the math. You're the math guy. Doesn't matter. All your cards are really cheap. They all do the same stuff. Yeah. And for 1 mana after you've dealt your opponent damage is trivial. The dealing your opponent a point of damage is trivial. And the card is just Thoughtcast. Like you said, it's super good.
I was thinking, a few days ago when I was going over cards that had impressed me, and I thought, Light Up the Stage, man, that card really is just Thoughtcast. And I thought, most people who are playing Magic right now probably don't remember when people actually played with Thoughtcast. Like, they've seen it as a 1 or 2 of in Modern Affinity.
I was going to go with, they don't remember the last time they saw... People have been playing Magic longer than the last time someone put Thoughtcast in their Affinity deck in Modern.
Yeah. Maybe it's a 1 of in that deck. But trust me, 15 years ago, Thoughtcast in Affinity was one of the best cards.
Yeah.
And I think that's still the case in a standard environment. So
yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. And this matchup is going to be basically, can Ross do me 20 damage before I get my engine going? And I'm going to have to rely on a lot of my cheap interaction like Shock and Lightning Strike to buy me time. I'm very curious to see what happens. But yeah. I guess we can take a couple questions here before we actually get started, assuming that you're not mulliganing.
No, my hand's great.
Well, I would like to let you know we do have Tom Ross in the chat.
Ooh, Tommy boy.
This is Tom's list, just so everyone is aware if you're just joining us. We did mention that in the intro, but there's a list that comes straight from the boss. So if it's bad, I'm going to blame him.
Sure.
And if I don't draw lands, I'll blame him too.
All right. Did I lose? I lost technically.
Yeah, you got to be on the play.
Ooh. Okay. 2 questions. 3 questions.
Doomlord 5. Why no Steamkin?
Tom?
Tom? Here's a question. How many Experimental Frenzy are in your deck?
3, I believe. It's either 2 or 3.
Okay. So the thing about the version that Tom sent us is that he basically replaced Steamkin with Rixmati Reveler, and he is under the impression that always being a 2/2 body early is going to be really good against things like Judith, the Foot Fiend, whatever.
Yeah, Footlight Fiend, Judith the Scourge Diva, opposing Chain Whirlers.
Fanatical Firebrand.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to deal 1 point, so Steamkin is pretty hard to untap with.
Yeah, it's not only that, but like the dream scenario of Steamkin plus Experimental Frenzy just does not come up very much. As much as people like to point to that as being like this big part of the deck, mostly it's just Frenzy bearing your opponent, and you don't really need a lot of help to do that.
Yeah. And mono red decks don't need cards that are super high upside. They trade on consistency, and Rick's Mighty Reveler is a card that gives you a lot of consistency, and it still has some reasonable upside if you ever cast it with Spectacle and draw some extra cards. So you're not even losing that much upside with it.
Yeah, plus if it's just the last card you cast from your hand for 2 mana, you get to draw a card. Like it's the discard effect is attached to it, but you always draw. You know, so if you have nothing to discard, you still draw.
That's true.
All right, one more.
One more.
It's an Elvish Visionary, but it's a 2/2.
Yeah.
Drizzy wants to know, wouldn't Electro Dominance work amazing with Flipped Amulet? What do you think about that for your deck, Todd?
So we already have 4 X Fireball spells, and more than that, I think, is not worthwhile. Electro Dominance lets you play, you know, spells, right, for X or less, and it could be okay. I don't know. I haven't done enough exploring with the archetype, but I know the Expansion Explosion is disgusting, and Electro Dominance does not seem as good.
Yeah, you would have to decide that you want more of those big X spells. I'm not sure you do. But if you do decide that, then I think Electro Dominance is a fine secondary one in small numbers.
All right, let's go and start. I'm going to lead off with Steam Vents tapped.
Steam Vents tapped. Well, I have Mountain untapped into D2 Lava Runner.
All right. Go.
Attack you for 1.
Shock it. Light up the stage, more like light up my life.
Shock you.
Yeah.
Light up the stage.
Yeah, all right, 18.
We'll try to set up for next turn.
Land? Yes.
Jeez.
Got
You
him.
can go.
Well, he gets to trade it for a free land, so that's not bad. Go.
It's not good.
It is also a black source.
Fanatical Firebrand.
Sure.
Attack you for 1.
17.
Light up the stage.
I'm going to negate that.
Pass the
I don't
turn.
think I'm going to get a lot of use out of negate, and it seems like Russ's draw is kind of focused on these lightings of the stages.
So can no longer play this Blood Crypt.
All right. I'm going to play an Amulet before I play Wilderness.
Okay. Well, I am going to attack you to 16 and play a Frenzy. And
Okay.
hope this somehow kills you quickly.
Oh, I
Already
hope it
played a
somehow
land.
doesn't. Tap Breeding Pool. We're going to play Reclamation.
That's
Untap.
no bueno.
I'm going to play an Opt. Trigger.
Okay.
Keep
Uh,
this.
That's not good. We needed Todd to have sort of a turn off here for us
Okay.
to set up, but he's pretty much full juice now. Definitely going to transform the Amulet next turn. Has Reclamation going already. What do we have? Probably second Frenzy. Okay, G2 Lava Runner. That's pretty good. It's a
Yeah.
2/2 haste.
I do like the light up the stage versions kind of incentivize you to, or they give your Lava Runners a bit more juice. There was a couple of builds.
You take 1 off this Chain Whirler, by the
Yeah,
way.
I'm at 15.
Now I've got a land. That is not a 1-mana spell.
Okay, so
Okay, attack you for 3.
At 12.
Pass the turn.
I really need to draw a removal spell to contain this damage next turn, but I think we're still okay otherwise. Wow, that was a good one.
That is not what I want to hear, Todd.
Okay.
Yeah, like 3 in hand.
Let's go in turn. Put these triggers on the stack. I'm going to float blue red. First untap. Let me tap this. Discard a breeding pool. Play chemisters.
No mana floating now. Still have a Reclamation trigger on the stack. No
So
spells.
I have
No spells.
No floating.
No spells. No spells. What did I just say?
I think 4,
Am I dead?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 8, 16. Not quite, I don't think. So let's go shock on the Lava Runner. Transform this. I might have miscounted. Let's see, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
That's
9, 10,
12.
11, 12. So I can only 16 you. So
Yeah, so if you shocked me, you would have been too short.
let's do this minis 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's kill both of these, and I'll draw 16.
Yeah. That's a lot of cards.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough for me to kill you from 12.
Okay. I'm basically just looking for another expansion explosion here. Didn't find one. Wow. Got a lot of...
Okay.
Oh, no, I did. I'm sorry. It was just buried
Land.
amidst all of the other sweet cards.
Shock you.
Okay, I'm at 10.
10. That's another land.
Okay.
And I am dead.
Where you going? What you doing? What happened? I did my thing and you died. I'm my deck so fast, this will be a true test for you, Todd.
Is that what Ross sounds like to you?
Well, whenever I'm going off with my various combos that draw a bunch of cards and kill a bunch of things, that's basically the voice of every opponent I have is, all right, how can you possibly beat this assembly of combos? I need to do I need to do some more voice acting for MTG Arena. Hold on, let's come up. I'm gonna make one for Wilderness Reclamation. I'm in danger. I knew that would get Ross. That one always gets Ross. All right.
Any Ralph Wiggum.
Yes, Ralph Wiggum, the best. All right,
one of the funniest characters on the show.
What are we doing here? We talking a little bit before we move sideboard? Or you want to take a short break here?
Let's take the short break, and we'll come back and talk about sideboarding.
I broke him. We'll be right back.
And we're back with sideboarding for Mono Red Aggro against Temur Reclamation. And, I can go through it card by card. We got a Mountain. Don't want that.
Nope.
Lava Coil. Don't want that.
Nope.
Fight with Fire. Definitely not. Don't want that.
What if I get you with my Mystics again, Ross?
Rekindling Phoenix. No, that's for slow, grindy matchups. Banefire. You're not really counterspelling. Treasure Map. Slow and grindy. No, don't want that. Footlight Fiend. Yeah, not for this matchup. This is for aggressive decks.
Maybe cut your Chain Whirlers for Footlight Fiend. It will probably do more damage.
Doubtful.
That's fair. I completely agree. I think that this sideboard for this mono red deck is more about you're supposed to have a pretty good matchup against control in game one, where you don't really need to board in a bunch of stuff. Like you're really low to the ground. You have a lot of natural card advantage and natural card advantage and just like cheap pressure that really puts the screws to these control strats. And so your sideboard is built with things like mid-range in mind, like your Rekindling Phoenix, your Treasure Maps.
And then other aggressive decks. So don't really have a sideboard for this matchup. And I don't need it. Lost game one, don't care. Running it back.
Okay, good chance my sideboard changes by 10 cards. So I'm just going to say I don't want Treasure Maps anymore. I don't really want Niv Mizzet anymore. And I don't want Star of Extinction in this matchup. Mystic, I think, is too slow. Fire Cannon is the only card that I think could come in. It doesn't even kill Fanatical Firebrand. So, yeah. Maybe I just want 4 Lava Coil on my sideboard. We'll see. I'm going to... Look, my article comes out Thursday. All the stuff I'm learning today is going to be compiled in that, so make sure to check it out.
Goblin Pyrite.
Goblin Pyrite? Oh, it's a pirate. Okay.
It's a Fool's Goblin.
All right. I'm
Goblin
at 19.
Pyrite.
All right. Breeding Pool tapped. Your turn.
I hope somebody in chat got that joke.
I hope they didn't.
I got it. I just didn't find it funny.
Yeah. Nice one, Rob.
Deck one.
Drag him!
18. Not sure if I want to discard any of these cards.
Is it a May? I don't think it's a May. Because if it was a May, you wouldn't be able to draw a card when you have no cards in hand.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll filter a shock. I don't know.
There you go.
Maybe that's better. Who knows?
Who knows? Not me. Go.
Tom can tell everybody if I was right or not.
Turns out you're wrong.
That was a good sequence of draws. Attack you for 3.
All right, I'm going to shock the Reveler. Take 1 down to 17.
Go to 16, please.
Yep. I'm at 16 from the Chain Whirler, and then I'm going to cast an Opt. A Radical Idea. You're going to go on the bottom. Draw. I'm going to go ahead and Lightning Strike the 3/3. Your turn. Hasties?
Let's play a Firebrand, a Lava Runner, and shock you to get the Lava Runner up to haste. So you're 14 from the shock. Yeah. Attack for 4.
Wow, I'm at 10 already.
Go to 10. Yes.
All right, we'll play an Opt. I don't really want another Expansion Explosion, so we'll bottom it. Land ain't good neither. We're in some trouble, y'all. Reclamation, untap all my lands. Your turn.
Sure. Attack you for 4.
I'm at 6. Double burn me.
Play a Chain Whirler.
I'm at 5.
You can go.
I cast Chemisters and draw 2. Incept trigger, float 5. 9. I'm gonna hit this for 5 and draw 5 cards. Look for a shock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and shock this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Discard a stomping ground. And I'm still gonna be dead to any 3 damage burn spell though, so. Are they both 3 damage burn spells or are they both lands? No! How many wizards are even in your deck?
Oh.
At least Rick's
4.
Mighty Reveler a shaman?
Yes.
Okay.
We got some Pyromancers in
So
our
I'm
deck.
dead,
Too.
is what we're saying.
Yeah.
We're dead. Okay, cool. Close. I did some things.
You did do some things. You had turn 2 removal spell, turn 3 removal spell, turn 4 reclamation.
Chemisters, turn 5,
Yeah.
kill something, draw. I mean, your draw was really good.
It was.
Interesting. All right. Now what? Now do I
See?
sideboard? I think these
Told you we didn't
negates-
need a sideboard.
These negates are just coming out.
Our main Brad was good enough.
Ooh, no. Blink of an Eye is coming out. Blink of an Eye doesn't do very much against you. That's something I should have considered. And then I'm going to bring in... I'm on the play.
Now we
so,
need sideboard cards.
So 2 Mystic is coming in for 2 Negate, I think. Although Negate might actually just be the nuts. All right. 2 Cannonade for 2 Blink of an Eye. Slightly better interaction, but not by a lot. Kills Reveler, Lava Runner, and maybe one other thing that you have, but maybe not. Doesn't kill Chain Whirler or Fanatical Firebrand, though. Maybe that means it's just worse than Murmuring Mystic. Mystic just... Alright. 2 Mystics in my deck. Changing my mind. Alright, questions?
All right. We have... What are your... Flats asked earlier, what's your most overrated card in RNA? Ravnica Allegiance.
Probably Rhythm of the Wild. I think when I first saw it in action, I was very impressed, but I think I'm just really impressed by the riot mechanic. I think Rhythm of the Wild in conjunction with Prime Speaker Vanifar is really good. As the only red card in a Simic deck, I think Rhythm might be very good, but it is not Fires the Yavimaya. Like that, there is no Saproling Burst that we can pair with it. You know, we don't have giant hexproof threats on turn 4 to follow up the Fires the Yavimaya, or even turn 3, I guess, with Lenore. We don't have 8 1-mana mana.
Yeah, that's the big difference.
To push into it.
Most overrated card. Oh,
Maybe Domri. Domri's pretty meh.
Yeah, I'm surprised how many people like Domri. I think that card is kind of meh. You just have to sacrifice so much to play with it, and its abilities are not super good. I think the -3 is pretty good, but its plus ability is make 1 mana. And,
but the creature has Riot, so
yeah.
I mean, a lot again with Vanifar. Riot is very good. So
I don't even think Vanifar is that good. I don't think there are a lot of good creatures to be podding with. When you pod, you want to pod something that leaves bodies behind, so you don't fall behind on the battlefield. There aren't really a lot of creatures that do that, especially at the low mana cost. Once you get to 5,
there's one that when you find them, they do create extra bodies, like the Biogenic Ooze.
Yeah, once you get to 5, you have like Ooze and Siege Gang Commander. And
I don't know, man.
But there's no like kitchen fix. People are playing Militia Bugler. Like, do you really want to spend? Yeah, that's what I've seen.
Okay.
I guess there might be teamer lists that do other things.
All right. I'm gonna keep mine. Is yours that bad? Looks pretty bad.
It's got a lot of lands, but I have a Rick's Mighty Reveler.
Go. Well, that turns one of those lands into a new card.
I just drew 2 cards.
Oh, wow.
Judge.
Were they both lands, and that's why you're shuffling them both in?
One of them was, and the other one wasn't very good. You didn't see that.
I saw it.
Nothing happened.
Well, my hand's not very good, so you should be okay this game.
Oh, probably not. Yeah, that's a mountain. Attack for 1.
19.
Go. I'll get exactly what I deserve and just run off 4 straight
Yep.
lands here.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Attack for 1.
not planning on surviving very long. I don't have interaction.
Reveler.
Yep.
That's a mountain.
Go.
Attack for 3.
15.
Play a 1/2.
Yep.
You can go. And Murmuring Mystic.
Go.
This can never beat this card.
I mean, I'm gonna block. And
Yeah, I
then
know you're gonna block.
Throw a 3 damage spell at it.
Am I?
I don't know.
Or have I drawn 3 lands?
Well, I don't know. Tell you, man. Save your Rick's Mighty Reveler. Here, I actually think I have to block the Lava Runner. Because I don't want my creature to die, so I'm going to block here and take 2 down
You're
to 13.
13. You can go.
Like, he told me he didn't have it, but, you know, I can't just believe Ross, you know. Okay. Play Wilderness Reclamation. In a turn, float a red. Gonna shoot this for 2 and draw 2 cards. Go. Just wanna concede and we'll play another game? Sure. He did.
Attack for 2.
I'm gonna just block. This 1/1 is not doing a lot otherwise, and if he chain wheelers me, you know, the life is way more
You
important.
can go.
I will Primal Amulet. Actually, I'm gonna change how I tap. I played an island, I think. And then I'm going to just play this tapped, untap these. I'm gonna lightning strike this. What are y'all frowny facing for?
Because I drew the Reveler. Now I can't spectacle it.
Oh, because you don't have a way to deal damage? Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Go.
Could just wait. Try to draw shock or something.
I don't think waiting is worthwhile. I think I have to find something great now. If I found like a Chain Whirler or a Frenzy. Yeah, see, you're making 14 mana. You're about to dome me for 10.
I'm just going to deal 10 to this.
Sure.
Always prevent damage.
Yeah, like you'll eventually flip this and just kill me with that
Right.
off the 10 cards anyway, so that makes sense. Oh yeah, well clearly I drew Firebrand now, so could have held it. Okay, I'm very dead. Let's just play another game.
Okay, great. All right, questions.
All right, we had a good one here from Cobra Atlantis. How many enablers do you think you need for a card when deck building for it to be worthwhile, i.e. Hero of Precinct 1?
I mean, it's very much dependent on the card. So Hero of Precinct 1 being 2 mana means you want to be triggering it early, and you want to be triggering it pretty often, so that you get, because you presumably have ways to take advantage of the tokens as well. So you're going to want a lot of multicolored cards in your hero decks. Most that I see are in the 20 to 25 range. I think that's a reasonable number. If you can get higher, that would be great. But it's just a matter of how much your mana base can handle, which was the issue with Yeoman 5's Mardu deck. I think the mana base is pretty weak there. But you're
I mean, you have a lot of cards that are basically either or colors. You know, you have your what's the Lightning plus Steel 1 Searing Blaze thing?
Carnival and Carnage.
Yeah, Carnival Carnage. You have Firefoot Fiend.
I mean, trying to curve Firefloat Fiend into Hero of Precinct 1 into Judith.
It's not that hard, I don't think. I mean, the fact that these cards are either colors, not that big of a deal.
Well, Judith is both colors.
Right. So really the thing is, how do you go Hero Precinct 1 into Judith? And the answer is have either Godless Shrine or Sacred Foundry. You have 8 of those. You also could just like, you know, they're both humans, so you could just play Unclaimed Territory, you know?
Which Yeoman did.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Then spells might get awkward. What are your other 1-drops?
Well, my hand was 3 Primary Amulet, a Wilderness Reclamation, and an Explosion, and 2 lands. And they're about
So
to tap.
sevensies.
Yeah, sure. Me and Ross really like mulliganing 7. Weird.
Todd,
Sorry, what's up?
yo, that's fresh. Why are you not playing Root Snare?
I've had Root Snare in a few builds, and I kept finding that actually dealing with the threats was more important. Just because it saved you life over time against things like Mono Red. Containing those early creatures means their burn spells can't just like go to the dome once you're at 9 to finish you off, and unless you have a ton of fogs and a big draw engine, it's really difficult to just have Root Snare every turn basically for the rest of the game, especially when we're not playing Nexus. But I do think some of Root Snare is probably good in the Bant deck, and I've seen versions of this deck that play Root Snare, and it might be good enough, but I've just found it lackluster.
Speaking of the Bant decks, we've had a few questions about that. What do you think about that version overall and March of the Multitudes as a finisher in particular?
I don't like March. I actually have quite come around to Dawn of Hope as a way to just use the extra mana that you get from Wilderness Reclamation. I think March of the Multitudes is too one-dimensional, whereas Dawn actually does either the token plan or it could be a card draw plan if you only have like 1 or 2 tokens going. And it's just a much better engine for the Reclamation decks. They both make lifelink tokens, so it's not a big deal. Obviously, you get more of a burst out of the big one, what's March of the Multitudes, but without Convoke, I don't know how good it is. You know, like if you don't have Reclamation, it's really bad. Where if you have Dawn of Hope and you don't have Reclamation, like it's still okay. Like it's not great, but 4 mana make a 1/1 is not something that has never seen standard play. Whereas 4 mana make a 1/1 one time on March of the Multitudes, or 5 mana make 2 1/1s with lifelink is not a Magic card. Like it's just not something that's ever seen standard play. It's worse than Scatter the Seeds. So, is your hand that bad?
Did you have Scatter the Seeds pulled up?
Yeah. Can you get the Scatter the Seeds?
I'm just,
That was not one you were
I
expecting.
should be expecting this every time.
All right, I'll tell you
Yeah.
what. You can draw 7 cards if I get to be on the play, or you can go to 6 and be on the play.
I'll take the play.
On 6.
I would just really like to not have 5 lands.
That's fine. I would really like to also not have 5 lands.
Okay, this'll do on 6. Don't think we want that one, so let's bottom there and play a mountain and pass the turn.
Ooh, no 1-drop creature is very good for me. Your turn.
Play a summit and a reveler.
Mhm.
We'll discard a mountain.
Go.
Attack for 2.
Strike it. Keep him off a spectacle.
Play another one. Discard a shock.
Okay.
You can go.
Steam Events. I'll go ahead and strike it. No real reason to wait. There's no like 3/3 with haste you could play here that's more important.
Firebrand, attack for 1.
19.
Light up the stage.
That's pretty good.
Okay, we hit our 3rd land. That's good.
Yep.
Play
What?
the mountain and pass the turn. And we finally dealt some damage.
I think, generally speaking, it's almost always correct to play Reclamation in this spot over Primal Amulet, because if I want to play these draw spells, I can. Or if I want to save them, I can. So I'm still at 19. I'm at 1,000,000 life.
Strike you.
Yeah.
16, attack for 1.
15.
Pass the turn.
I'm going to play 1 Radical Idea.
Saving the other for...
Now I'm going to play an Opt. Bottom. Play Primal Amulet. I will Lightning Strike this. Tap.
Lightning strike you.
Yep. I'm
12.
At 12.
Chain Whirler.
Sure.
You're at 11. Play Blood Crypt and pass.
All right. I will cast an Opt.
Todd, have we been keeping track of how many times you have turn 4 Reclamation?
No, but it's.
Tom was curious.
I haven't kept track of it, but I don't think it's that difficult. Just because of how many Ops and Radicals and things. I think I've out of the 5. This is game 9. I think I've had it probably 5 out of 9, maybe 4 out of 9. All right, I'm just not gonna play. Oh, maybe I should. Okay. Just gonna use my mana. I'm gonna shock you, EOT.
I'm at 18.
All right, untap. Draw. Discard. Radical. Draw. In a turn, 6, 13, 18U. Pretty sure that's Xaxis. I didn't count that hard, but I counted up and then I subtracted 4 and then doubled it, and I'm pretty sure that was 18. And you were at 18, right?
For those
and then
counting,
dancing.
That was a turn 6 kill with 3 pieces of disruption.
Oh yeah.
That could be a great gift of you dancing if somebody wants to do that.
Oh yeah, dude. That's the new truffle, baby. You know. I'm a fat guy. You know. What you got for me? Okay. Are you liking the look of the deck? Obviously, it needs some help. There's some little things that need to be fixed. The sideboard needs a lot of work. What do you think about the Temur Rec deck so far? How did it match up against the mono red deck in general?
Matched up pretty well. I mean, the mono red deck did not seem to have like that fast of a clock. The way they're built right now is to like be able to play through disruption against control decks and against mid-range decks. So we got these light up the stages, these experimental frenzies, Brix-minded revelers, like, so much card advantage. So you can just keep grinding through this disruption and keep coming at you. And in this matchup, that's a liability. So I'm sitting here like drawing some extra cards, making extra land drops because I have 22 lands in my deck, and I'm not killing you on turn 5 like I need to be doing turn 5, turn 6. And then if I just give you time, stuff like that happens. And it's not like you don't have disruption that I still have to fight through. So maybe this matchup is weaker than we thought, and you need actual disruption. I imagine in lists that are playing things like Root Snare and Teferi, I'd much rather be playing against. Whereas you're just going for the jugular really quickly, and not giving me time to leverage my pieces of card advantage. So your list is probably better against red than typical lists.
I know. I think I agree with that. I think fogs in general are not good against mono red because you deal a lot of damage early, and you force them into the spot where do I cast my Root Snare when you're only attacking me for 4 damage when I'm at like 13 or 15, and it gets to a spot where you're sitting with a one or multiple Root Snares in hand, and then your opponent's just like, okay, experimental frenzy, okay, damage spell, you're dead. And this Temur deck closes the game so much more quickly, which is why I have been a huge proponent of this build versus the Bant ones. You know, like that was turn 6. I killed 3 creatures. I played turn 4 Wreck, played some more card draw, turn 5 Amulet, and I transformed it on turn 6 and killed you. I don't know what else you want from me. I'm doing it. The deck is working. I just don't have the whole shell. Like, I don't have the perfect sideboard. I'm probably missing something from the main deck. This is not a suggestion for this version, but like, I have played versions of this deck that had Unwind in it, and Unwind was insane with Primal Wellspring. But like, I'm getting to the point where I know the core of the deck and I know it works, but I just need, like, is Lightning Strike even the best card for that slot? I don't know. But sometimes when I play Reclamation and I untap with a Lava Coil in my hand, I want to throw my deck in the trash can. So Lightning Strike is, it does a thing. I don't know if it's the thing. Maybe all my lands just need to produce blue, and then I can play Warrant as my removal spell. That actually sounds pretty sweet. I don't know. What do you think? Not on that, and I'm just thinking out loud, man. I'm in the stage.
I don't know how good Warrant is. The burn spells have been good. They're cheap. Sometimes they go to the dome just to set up the combo, like you did with the shock there. You've done it early. You did it in a couple other games. So I think the red spells have looked impressive. When you're curving that early disruption and then land one of your big spells in turn 4, then you have enough time to set up that first explosion that then sets up the game-winning explosion.
Right.
And that's all you want to do.
It's rare that the first explosion wins the game, but it almost always buys enough time and draws enough cards that the game win is inevitable. And, you don't really even need Primal Amulet for that. You can usually use either Amulet or Reclamation, and I think the fact that you basically get to play 8 of them is pretty sweet. I think the trick, like we have basically maximized, with all the radical ideas and the chemistries inside, we basically have found the core of this is how many I need to transform it immediately on the Primal Amulets side. But there's a possibility that this is just the wrong build. Like Primal Amulet might not be the hit with Wilderness Reclamation, but so far it feels really good.
It's the most powerful. I just think that the issue you run into is when you start running into disruption, like those cards aren't doing enough. When the engine isn't getting together, they're not doing enough as individual pieces.
Maybe the sideboard plan should just always involve siding out either Reclamation or or Amulet, like one of the two.
I think that's probably where you go with it.
Sure. Okay.
We did have a question wondering if you had seen Autumn Burchett's list.
I did.
Had been streaming.
I did.
Thoughts on that list?
I'm not a huge fan of precognitive
perception.
It doesn't really chain well with Reclamation. I think you're going to get a lot of hands on 4 mana where you play Reclamation and don't have a lot to do with it.
Plus, Minority Report was not a very good film.
I do honestly. The more the more I play with this deck, the more I kind of want Growth Spiral. But I'm buying myself that amount of time with the removal spells. Like I kill a thing on turn 2 instead of casting Growth Spiral, and then I just get to naturally hit my land drop as opposed to trying to ramp and sometimes just missing. So I think that's important to consider.
Yeah, missing is so devastating.
Yeah, it's not good. I'll say this sideboard is not where I want it to be, and I'm going to be focusing on that primarily for my article this week. I'm going to be writing that when I get home. I do think Autumn's list is a pretty cool take on the archetype. So if you want to try it out, I just want to try all of the Wilderness Reclamation builds. So if there's a build and you think it looks okay or someone has reasonable success with it, just go try it.
Do you also think that there's a difference in the way that you would build deck list for Arena Best of 1 versus what you would build for this upcoming Open? Because I believe they had been streaming it to get to Mythic on Magic Arena.
As far as I know, Autumn fell short of Mythic by a little bit, but did really well. Went from silver to platinum like pretty quick. So I don't know. I honestly think the core of the deck, the Reclamation plus Explosion, is the core, and you can literally do whatever you want with the rest as long as it's mostly at instant speed. I think we're gonna see builds, and I talked with Ross a bit about this at lunch. I think Wilderness Reclamation is gonna be the Aetherworks Marvel of this format, and I mean that in the worst way possible. I think that we're gonna find out early on you're gonna get whooped by things like Negate and Duress, Disenchants, but then you're gonna find a point where people put Wilderness Reclamation into a pure control strategy, and then they bury you. And we saw the mid-range shift with Aetherworks Marvel, where people played Ishkanah, Graph Widow, even like the Sigarda and all this other stuff. Like they had a good, fair game plan. They use Harness Lightning, they use Rogue Refiner, even there were all sorts of builds that could play 2 different game plans. One was Marvel, one was Beatdown with Whirler Virtuoso. And Wilderness Reclamation does kind of bottleneck you into playing instants, but it's kind of the same way that Aetherworks Marvel bottlenecks you into playing cards that generate energy. So you just need to find the best suite of instants to complement the Reclamation, whereas the Marvel decks were finding the best energy cards to complement the turn 5 Ulamogs or whatever. So it's disgusting, y'all. It's so good, and I can't even tell you what's going on in my head right now because I'm all over the place. I'm like a canary in a coal mine, man. I'm just going crazy. It's bad.
I don't think that's what that phrase means.
No, but the canaries know when the gas is coming or whatever. And it goes crazy. It flies out.
Okay. Well, no, the point is the bird would die first, and then everyone could leave.
But it freaks out first, right? I don't know. Look, man. Bird box. All right, I'm the birds in the bird box.
You're more like the kid in the candy store.
No, but I don't like it. I'm scared of it. I'm trying to break it because it's this puzzle it's just staring me in the face, and it's just like, dude, I'm right here, and I'm just like, I wonder if it's like, dude, I'm right here, I'm just trying to play me, put this in your deck, this one right here, and I just have to turn my head, and then when I turn my head and I see it, when I cross my eyes and the 3D puzzle comes to light.
Does anyone else
we cut,
understand what
please?
he's saying?
Can we cut?
Anyone?
I'm going crazy.
Can someone